I used a simple homemade slab roller to roll out some thin layers of clay, and then I used cookie cutters to cut some shapes so that I could glaze them for test sparring. Here you can see the little cookies I made. They've just been dried, they haven't been bisque fired or anything. I'm going to test them as a single fire because that's mostly what I do when I do my sculpture. I have a wide variety of formulas and I used about 4 different clay bodies. The basic concept I'm after is to be able to mix an underglaze with an overglaze, clear overglaze, so that I can form a semi-matte, a gloss, a semi-gloss, and so on, all with only owning the underglaze and overglaze materials and not having to invest in a whole range of different glosses in order to get the effects. For the testing methods, I mix the ratio of underglaze to overglaze very carefully using a small pipette. I'm not sure that I would want to do this unless it was necessary on the actual making of a sculpture. On the day that I was doing this video, it was raining out. We get a lot of rain in November. The next day it was snowing though. I didn't do the application of the glaze quite as carefully as I might if it was an actual sculpture. I wasn't too worried if there were some small cracks or things forming, but I did want to get to see the actual matte effect. Mixing the different ratios of things and forming the little cookies and putting it all together and glazing and so on took a fair amount of time, but it should be worth it in the end. The underside of each cookie is marked so that I'll be able to tell them later on. The little containers are makeup jars. I don't use it so much myself, but there's a girl at work who used tons of it, and I thought I'd get a few containers from her. Hope she doesn't see this video. All the glazes were about the consistency of a thick cream in order to keep the ratio of actual materials in them at a consistent rate. I know, I need a better test kiln, but hey, it works. It's controlled by a ramp soak controller that I got off eBay, which controls a relay which turns the kiln on and off. And now for my conclusions. Mixing commercial underglaze with a commercial overglaze that's clear and gloss gives a good range of matte provided you use enough of the underglaze. 90% underglaze and 10% overglaze gave a very matte effect. 80-20 gave a slightly shiny effect, very slight. In the picture it's hard for me to get the angles just right to show the amount of gloss, but it really does progress quite well. The thing that surprised me quite much is that you would have to be quite accurate in mixing them. On my test, by the time I got to 50% underglaze and 50% overglaze, it was quite shiny and not too much different from just coating the underglaze with an overglaze. You might be able to achieve some better results by using a mixed glaze formula where you buy the ingredients at the ceramics store and mix your own overglaze. The one that I liked best I'm showing here. It gave a little bit better results on the closer to the matte end, and I like the effect of it, but I think you could do quite well with commercial glazes. Of course, you'd have to fire and test your own glazes in your own kiln to get exactly the results you're after. Doing it this way, you could achieve a semi-gloss or a soft gloss almost matte effect using glazes, underglazes you already have, and just one clear overglaze. I hope you found this information useful. Thank you for watching.